Hi, and welcome to Pursuit of Tomorrow. Howard Thurman said, don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. Now, in the spirit of that, I've decided to invite anyone and everyone onto this platform here to help discuss the idea and how we can actively pursue tomorrow as opposed to just kind of passively receiving it. Now, before we get started, I just want to say any support to the channel would mean so much to me. So like, comment and subscribe, and without any more to say, let's get right into the episode. So, Z.
Yes,
Welcome. Thank you for agreeing to be part of this and coming on the show.
No problem. I'm glad to be here.
Cool. Right. So before we actually get into the pursuit of tomorrow, I'm gonna take a quick introspective look into yesterday.
Yeah.
So I asked you to bring, 2 or 3 artifacts that you can bring positive memories for you. Okay, well you can.
I've got one on me though.
One on you.
Yes.
One will do.
Yes.
Talk to me.
It's the one I wear all the time.
Okay.
Now, this is a necklace. This is the last time I went home, which is the motherland, back in Zimbabwe. And I feel like just that one trip alone had a lot to do with my mindset when I came back.
Right.
And a few of my friends have mentioned it. There's a lot of things that I feel like I wasn't doing prior going on holiday that time.
Okay.
When I came back, I don't know, I came back feeling so proud to be African, first of all.
Wow.
Not to say that I never felt proud to be African at first, but I came back saying, wow, this is actually cool.
So like highlighted it for you.
Yeah. I was like, yo, I didn't realize how much I missed it until you find yourself being away for so long. And, time just goes, man, to make it worse with, what's been going on in the world.
Yeah.
So, just coming back, I came back with the whole, even a lot of my wardrobe is to do with African as well now, and I feel like that was a huge part. So I mean, you'll see me with this like almost every single time.
Yeah, I've noticed actually.
Yeah. Everywhere. So that's one. And I think we'll keep it at that.
Okay. Sure. Well, nice. When was the last time you did go back?
So the last time I went back is literally just before the pandemic.
Oh right.
So
early 2020, late 2019.
Yeah. When was that? That's 20.
I think the pandemic got. As in, we all got the news about lockdown in I think March.
Yeah. So it was my birthday.
Okay.
And straight after my birthday, I went back home, and I was meant to be there for 2 weeks or so. And then I get a call from my brother saying, yo, you better jump on a plane back to UK because, they're about to shut it down and we don't know how long that's going to be.
Yeah.
So I was literally on the last flight from Zim back to UK.
Wow.
And that was it. Then I came back and everything was shut down.
Cut it close.
And I came back with just a bunch of different necklaces similar to this and just stuff, and I was just like, wow, I didn't realize how much I missed it until it's there. So
Okay.
yeah.
So I also asked if you had a particular film or song that had some personal meaning to you.
Yeah. But can I say one of both? Or?
Go for it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So song-wise, I don't know if you know the great Bob Marley.
Come on now.
Who doesn't? But honestly, Bob Marley, I don't know. The reason I want to mention this song is because I can go and listen to 1,000 songs and whatnot, but I always tend to come back to this one song, and it just doesn't get old for me. First of all, the album is just amazing. Everything about it, everything is just amazing. But I like Stir It Up. Stir It Up. I think the first time I heard it was like in I Am a Legend.
Okay.
And I just love the song, man. I love the way he makes good of times that were tough, obviously. And I don't know, I just feel like when I hear the music, it gives you meaning, purpose, and it just feels like everything's gonna be alright. Even though that's another song, but you know, but yeah, I just love that
I get
song.
the vibe, don't worry.
Yeah.
Cool, nice one. That's a good film as well, I imagine.
Yeah, that's a really good film as well, man.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, did I say film as well? Film.
Yeah.
This is the one I only watched a bit more recently, I guess like last year. But I just loved it really gave me the importance of storytelling. It's a film called Crown Heights. I don't know if you've ever.
I haven't watched that.
It's like an indie film, but they did amazing. It's a true story about a guy that went to jail for a crime he didn't commit,
Okay.
and he only got released maybe around 2013 or whatever. And he had been there since 1992 or something.
Gosh.
And I really loved the message behind it. First of all, because it's a true story and everything, and you get to see the guys who actually went through it. But the only reason this guy got out after so many years is because his best friend just wouldn't give up on him. Everyone else gave up on him. His wife, his everything, just not his wife giving up on him, but everyone else just saw that, yo, man, this isn't gonna work out. He's just gonna be in there for life. But his best friend literally went to go study law just to get his friend out, and I just thought, wow, that is just resilience. And you know, something like that just makes you say, wow, if people really put their mind to something, you know, it can be amazing.
Okay, cool. So obviously you mentioned that that's a true story and one that you obviously hold in high regard.
Exactly.
Have you had a chance to meet someone that you've just long respected in real life?
Yeah, I met in Oxford actually, which is where we're at. I don't know if we're meant to say that. I met one time I bumped into Paul Giamatti.
Okay.
Paul Giamatti is the guy from you've seen Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the manager.
Wow.
And he's one of those actors that you see a lot in movies. He's also in Big Mama's House.
That's the first time I saw him.
Yeah. You see him, but you don't like. No one mentions him like that.
You don't
you know?
acknowledge him.
Yeah. You see him in a lot of movies. You know he's good. He's living a good life and everything. But he's also someone that you could walk right past. So I bumped into him in Oxford, and I think this is. I was working at a cinema at the time, and I feel like times were a bit tough. Let me say that. Let's just say I wasn't doing exactly what I wanted to do, and I go into KFC. This is on Cornmarket Street. Go get some lunch, and basically there's a homeless guy called Marcus who's always been playing guitar on Cornmarket Street, and he had been in one of our projects. So sometimes, once in a while, I just get food for myself and I give him food as well, just to say, yo, thank you for that time and stuff. So I get food and I turn around and I see Paul Giamatti, and I see him see me, and I don't know if you've ever bumped into a celebrity or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's a good 5 seconds where you don't believe it's them. You're just like, nah.
Yeah.
So I'm there like this, like almost like that person. I could literally just drop my food right now, and he smiles at me, right? And at that moment I realized, oh no, that's him. Like you ain't making it up. Cool. So he starts walking away, and I'm like, man, I need to speak to this guy. I'm like, okay, I need to speak to him. So I'm now. This is when obviously before lockdown, and there's a lot of people, and this is summer as well. So you know how summer it is. There's everyone from different places. So I can see the direction he's walking, but I can also the homeless guy is the opposite way. So now I'm in a situation where I'm like, hey man, maybe the homeless guy doesn't need his food today. maybe, hey man, you alright? I'll see you tomorrow. And I'm like, so I start walking towards the celebrity. Then I'm like, yo man, this is waste, man. You just go give it to the homeless guy first. So I run to the homeless guy. I say, Marcus, here's food. He's like, yo, bless, man. And he wants to have a conversation with me. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yo, I'm literally working tomorrow, so I'll come back and we'll chat properly in the morning. And he's like, oh, bless, thanks for the food. I look away and I start running into the direction that Paul Giamatti was walking. I'm looking everywhere for this guy. I can't find him. I'm like, hey man, it's fine. My shift is over. I'm just gonna go home. The route that I go towards Headington home, I see him again.
Oh.
And remember, I've been looking for him, but now I found him, but I don't want to now chat to him. I'm just nervous, man. I'm like, yo, this is Paul Giamatti. I literally had watched Straight Outta Compton recently. That was like,
oh right, yeah.
Like I hadn't like
fresh on the mind.
Yeah, it was fresh. Like for me to see him, it just felt like a dream. I was like, what is going on? So I see him and I'm like, I can't say anything. So I call my friend, right? Call my friend Bruno, who you've met.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, you won't believe who's in front of me right now. It's Paul Giamatti. He's like, say what's up, man. So just talk to him. And I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. He's like, bro, do you want to blow? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go out at him. So I go up to him and I'm like, yo, excuse me. Yo, I really don't want to be that person, but I can't believe you're here. Like, what are you doing in Oxford? He's just like, yeah, I'm just, I'm terrible with accents, but I don't even know what that was. Yeah, I'm just doing a speech at the Oxford Union. Yeah, just gonna be cool. And he's walking, but he's walking as a person that doesn't want to chat to me, obviously. I think, I just come off as a fan. Until I start asking him more deeper questions, and I'm like, yo, I'm really sorry. I know I've seen you in this and that. I've seen you in Billion. He's got a show that was on Billion. It's called Billions or something like that. So I think he realizes, okay, this guy actually knows about me. I'm not just like a fan. And I'm like, how was it working on Straight Outta Compton? And then I think something triggered in him, and he's like, oh man, that was an amazing experience and everything. Dr. Dre, everyone there and everything. He was like, it was very long though. I think I was scheduled. He was meant to film for 1 month or 2 months, something like that. That was his actual filming schedule. It went over and he filmed for a good 7 months.
Wow.
So you can imagine he said it was a long process, but obviously you see the film and you see the end result, but you can see how much work was put into it. But yeah, walking with him, I got to ask him so many questions that I'd always been dying to like learn, and I could see some of it. He's like, I don't have all the answers for you, my guy, but because I remember asking, can I get your number or email or something? I just want to share you some of my stuff. He's like, oh man, I can't, I'm like, fine, but what can I get from you? I'm like, cool, I get it, man. You must get 10,000 people always trying to, get a break from you. But I'm like, what can I get from you? And everything. And he just gave me some like simple advice, which is very annoying, to be fair, because it's something anyone would tell you. But I guess if they keep saying it, then it is, good advice. And he tells me, yo man, just keep doing it. I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, yeah man, a lot of these ideas or thoughts or like stuff that you think in your head, progression is made through like failing.
Right.
So each time you try out something and it doesn't work, think about it out of 10. If you fail, and let's say there's one right answer out of 10. If you fail a good 9 times, and you really put in effort into each 9 times, that 10th time you're gonna get it right, because all those other 9 times you failed, you know, okay, that didn't work.
Yeah.
And for me, that was like a moment of saying, what he was trying to say is like, listen, failing is really good.
Yeah.
The more you fail and the more you accept it, you should just be fine with actually bombing. So, I think that's something I've also tried to get into it a lot more, just knowing that, yo, bomb as hard as you want, just bomb, like stink up the place. And you know, I feel like the more you bomb, the more like you kind of don't care, because it's like you get a feeling of like, I can't do worse than last time.
Right. Yeah.
The problem, I think, with people who are like one-hit wonders and stuff, sometimes I feel like they haven't bombed enough before.
Yeah. So it's like they're trying to recreate the same
It's
success.
the same,
in a different
whatever
form,
the
yeah.
dance song they made or whatever. And I feel like that, you know, that you can just imagine the stress of having a song that just went number 1, and this is like your first song making. You will be stressed out of your mind. You just end up a one-hit wonder like almost all the time.
Yeah.
But the people like the J. Coles who bombed from mixtape, some people didn't sign them. Yeah, you're alright, blah blah blah. Them people, like, there's nothing you can really tell them, man, because they've really seen the bottom.
They're veterans of their
Yeah,
craft now.
they've bombed.
Yeah. Yeah, literally veterans of their craft.
Kanye bombed. Like, people forget,
Yeah.
man. This guy is he's a billionaire now. That dude bombed. I think his first album bombed or whatever. It's crazy to even think like
I
that.
haven't heard his first album.
Yeah, like, but he says it in one of his songs that, yeah, I bombed it. Like, but like, if someone like Kanye is bombing, like, you should really humble yourself and say, hey, let me bomb.
No, that's actually profound, because like I said, I haven't heard his first album. I think the era that I got introduced to Kanye was when he was like already big.
Yeah,
So I was
exactly.
When it was like, oh yeah, let me catch up on some of his music.
Yeah.
I was catching up on all the good stuff.
Exactly.
And it's like, yeah, obviously
you know?
the bad stuff doesn't get the same club.
And that's also another reason to bomb, because most people are not going to remember it
Yeah.
when you actually then ascend. So yeah, I'm trying to focus on bombing, and bombing hard. And I think that's a good way to go about it.
Okay, so obviously you've got that, I said that hindsight now. So if you were able to offer a 12-year-old version of yourself some advice,
Yeah.
would it be the same? Would it be different? How would you
I
feel?
think what I would say to 12-year-old version of me is there's going to be highs and lows. I remember there was one time, I guess this is just before I went uni, I guess, which is like my first project that I put out, like, you know, like with actually collabing with people and everything. For some reason this project went viral, right?
Okay.
Which you would think is a good thing, but for someone I was just doing it for fun and stuff, and you see the love you get from it back and everything, I think I was way overwhelmed.
Okay, yeah.
And I think it's part of I hadn't bombed yet.
Yeah.
And I think that actually low-key messed me up, because now I had such a high standard for myself, yet I hadn't...
I built the foundation.
Yeah, I hadn't, you know... I remember literally, this is crazy, I went back to my country as well. So it was really popular in my country. And the guy at the airport recognized me.
Wow.
And this is crazy, I'm not making this up. He literally, you know when you're meant to get checked through the airport, you know, with like your bags and stuff, you make sure you don't have knives and everything. Just made me walk right past, bro. So I didn't even go through the scanners and everything. I felt like a freaking celeb. I was like, yo, this is what clout feels like. He's like, yo, you're the kid from that. I'm like, wow. And that messed me up. So I think what I would say to 12-year-old me is really just focus on just the attempt. I think people get caught up on, man, my video doesn't look like freaking Hollywood, this don't look like that and everything. I think you lack growth with that kind of energy. Just the attempt half the time. I remember one of my best friends always says, you don't have to build a masterpiece every day.
Right.
Some days just paint.
I like that.
So I think that's a really cool saying to have. Just like, some days you improving just means you writing one page of a poem and calling that a day. You've done something in that day.
Right.
I think everyone wants to have the finished product, have the best acting, have the best song, best mixing. Everything is always about perfection. And half the time, you'd be surprised. Some people don't even care about that.
I think, it's always kind of misconstrued. People think that the most daunting part will be the journey
Yeah.
to success, but it's actually those first steps. Because at least, when you're on the journey, you're partially there, the vision's much clearer.
Exactly.
But when you're just starting out, you don't know, like you said, like what wrong steps to take, and so you don't know what attempts to make, and
Exactly.
how to go about them.
I would say one more thing about being 12 years old and everything. I think it obviously depends on the profession and everything, but I feel like some of these things need a bit of stubbornness in why you think you like it or whatever.
Okay.
I'll give you an example. I went to uni with a bunch of people and students who said they wanted to do film, and my lecturer looked us all in the face and he said, you are going to keep on doing film, he's going to keep on doing film, she's going to keep on doing film, the rest of these people are going to quit. And it's mad. I thought that was just like so rude. Why would you say that to students?
Yeah.
He was like 100% right. Everyone that he said wasn't going to continue, they gave up. Maybe within like a year or of, like, do you think you're gonna be Ryan Coogler in a week? I don't know, like, but I don't know. I know it was rude, but he literally got it right.
Do you think that might have been a self-fulfilling prophecy, though? If someone looks at you and says you're going to quit, do you think?
No, but I feel like if you're teaching me for 3 years straight, or whatever the case may be, eventually you're gonna catch on some of my characteristics and everything.
Right.
And he wasn't saying in a way of like, you're going to fail because you're just going to fail. He was basing it off of, okay, does this guy even care when he films? Does he care when we have a project to submit? Even if it's not serious, there was something like, I remember there were times where he would just give us a task for today. I want you guys to make a music video today and edit it. I want to see it tomorrow. I'm like, what? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So other people would take that as like, man, this guy's just trying to waste our time, and hand in something crap tomorrow. Sometimes I would look at that and I'd be like, I want to make something sick to show for tomorrow.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm up late. Bear in mind, this isn't going to my degree or nothing. This mark of this music video, he just told us, make it done, shoot it today, this afternoon. I want to see it tomorrow. For me, I was up late, like 3 a.m. There's no mark. I'm gonna get nothing from this. But I literally, the next day, you get there and you can see the differences. Some people had just exported their video.
Right. Yeah.
Just put it out. Color grade is off. Some is just too blue. Other people just threw it on black and white just to make sure that it matches kind of. And you can just tell by like, do you actually care, or are you just here for the vibes? And like, that's where I think he's basing it from. Like, man, you can always tell if you're with it, you're with it. If you're not, then let's see what decision.
Yeah. No, that's exactly right, actually.
Yeah, so 12-year-olds, I think, man, if you really think you're gonna like something, shot.
Okay, so yeah, it's definitely interesting to get that perspective. So but in line with moving towards tomorrow, there's that Howard Thurman quote: "Don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive,
Yeah.
and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive."
That's hard. That's hard. I like.
Yeah, no. So I remember when I was starting this, and I was trying to define what the pursuit of tomorrow actually looked like. I think that there was the key difference.
Yeah.
Between putting out what you think is needed in the world and how you may become successful in doing that. No.
Yeah.
But then how long is it until you lose that passion? So that's why I was actually asking about that self-fulfilling prophecy. Because it's like, nah, the professor looked at you and said, nah, this is something that makes him come alive. Not something he thinks he just kind of needs to do.
Exactly.
So kind of sticking within that, what makes you come alive?
What makes me come alive? I think for me, there's a few reasons, I guess. Some works differently. I would say, like, what makes me come alive? That's a really good question. I'm trying to think what really makes me come alive. I think it's some of the people who I've grown up with.
Okay.
So I went to boarding school, and I went to it at a very young age. So imagine some of these relationships. I grew up with some of these people since I was like 9 years old or whatever.
Right.
And you're in boarding school. I spent more time with some of these people than I have with my actual family.
Gosh.
Because you've grown up, literally, this guy, you've seen him grow. We've been together. We had puberty at the same time.
That's hard to put
His
yourself-
bed is right there, fam. Like, so you become a different level of like brotherhood. Like you've been through the bullying. We had some. Not gonna go there. Not gonna snitch today, but it was mad. So you build such a bond with these people, and a few of these people, when you're close guys, you actually get a proper sense of they want to see you win. And even sometimes I speak to one of my close friends called Theo. The other day he literally told me, man, like, I generally, no nonsense, like, yo, you're just my friend and I'm just saying this. He said, I genuinely believe you have a chance to do exactly what you think is impossible. And I feel like when you hear someone like that tell you something like that, I feel like it's a bit offensive just to be like, nah, man, hey, I'm good where I'm at now. Hey, it was nice joke, mate. I just feel like I now have an obligation to at least, do my part.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of thing makes me come alive. Just knowing that, yo, man, there's people who see something in you. Along with that, there's obviously family and other people. But I feel like someone who's seen you there through, they've seen all my first stuff. I'm talking about the stuff I used to film on a flip phone, man.
Wow.
Talking about throwbacks. Putting too much of my age out there. But yeah, man, I had videos on the flip phone. What was it? Is that even 720p? That must be like 360. That was terrible quality, but I'm saying they've seen them things. Like, it's just, for them, obviously, they just see a different level of growth. And I think that's a huge issue with a lot of creatives and a lot of people. It's hard to see your own growth.
Yeah.
As a musician, I always, like, there's one of my friends who I told him, I'm like, yo, you're better than you were like 2 albums ago. And to them, they can't.
Like conceptualize
Yeah,
that.
they're like, yeah, I guess I'm a little bit. I'm like, no, bro. I was just sharing your stuff last time because you're my boy. Now I'm sharing it because, yo, check this out. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
And it's hard for you to see it, but sometimes when you get someone who whose opinion you respect.
Yeah.
That makes you feel come alive. You're like, okay, cool. So if you think I'm getting better now, give me 2 more years. Just give me 2 more years. Let's see what I can do then. I think that's a cool. So yeah, I would say that makes me come alive.
Yeah, because I've noticed, you build that into, like you said, your art.
Exactly.
Your work ethic. I love how there's always this perfect balance. Because you and I, we've had the chance to work together a couple of times now.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's always this balance of family and workflow. People are always so caught up with not mixing business with pleasure.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think there's definitely something to be said about how well you're able to just authentically be yourself on set.
Yeah.
Be calm, caring, attentive. To the people around you and also to the project at hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Because your film work is just I'm a fan myself.
Thank you.
Because I remember you and I obviously met through like a mutual friend and then caught up with each other and then started seeing more of each other's work, and I just think that same trajectory of growth that you're speaking about in others, I've definitely seen in you.
That's dope, man. That's really
just
awesome.
wanted to give you that because you're saying that it's hard to see your growth from the inside.
Yeah.
I can let you know from the outside. It's definitely there, man. It's definitely there.
Nah, man, I appreciate it. I think for me, a part of it as well, and I think it's different with everyone. Some people need to be very serious on set or do this and that. A part of it for me, well, I've come to understand, like, a lot more fun goes a long way. I don't know if you've ever seen, I feel like you can't lie to people.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever seen like a reality show and you just check the comments, everyone's like, yo, that's fake. And yeah, they are right. And I feel like sometimes when you're trying to make something so fake, something that's not you, sometimes it's very easy to pick up, unless you're just an amazing actor.
Right, yeah, of course.
So I feel like with me, even on sets, I've been on like some serious sets where I remember even earlier this year I was on a set where this is a serious client, no nonsense, they're big and everything. I should not be cracking jokes.
But you can't
But I'm like, hey. But no, honestly, and I feel like that helped the project.
No.
Just because not only me, it's also the energy I'm giving off to the person in front of camera. They loosened up.
Yeah, definitely.
It didn't now feel like, yo, we can't mess this up because there's a big client or whatever. And the client was there. Sometimes, usually with these kind of projects, the client isn't there in person. Nah, this dude came there to see exactly what you're doing. So now it's like me doing the camera thing and whatnot, and I can feel,
Just the presence.
feel back of my head like, yo, this guy's watching. I don't know if this is the guy we should have hired and whatnot. But even in that situation, I'm just like, yo, man, hey, so I was chatting to this thing, or whatever, like, just, it was so playful, and I feel like it helped, like, the project came out really well, but I feel like that was a huge part of it, because I didn't try act to be someone else, just because I'm around someone. I was the only brother there, let me say that. I went there with the idea of, like, I should speak like this. So obviously, thank you so much for having me. I'm like, nah, bruh. Hey, what you saying? Honestly, and I think it worked out just because I didn't try to force it,
Yeah.
So that's cool that you said that.
Of course, you mentioned obviously staying true to yourself, being authentic, no matter what environment you find yourself in.
Yeah.
Especially even with big clients. So kind of moving forward into even larger clients, even bigger projects. What does your day look like? What does your week look like? What does your month look like? Kind of in pursuit of kind of building that empire and still staying true to yourself.
Exactly. I think, and this is something that I'm still trying to learn and get better with. This is tricky because I think a huge part of getting better at certain stuff like this is organizing yourself. Right? I don't know if you've seen J. Cole. J. Cole's one of my favorite rappers and everything, and he just put out a documentary called Off Season.
Basketball one.
Documentary.
Yeah, the basketball documentary.
No, Off Season. It's for his album.
Oh right.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking of something completely different.
He literally put it out like maybe a week or two
Oh,
ago.
okay, right.
And he's talking about, and this is so relatable. I think a lot of creatives go through this. He's talking about, yo, I believe that I was good enough to possibly make it to the NBA at some stage in my life. But then he says one day, like after chatting to his friends and everything, he looked at it and said, okay, this is why I'm not going to make it.
Okay.
There's people, for him saying he's going to blow in basketball and everything was him just playing in the park, in the neighborhood, killing everybody in the hood, you know, and getting buckets. But I think he says he sobered up one moment and he realized there's people who wake up at like 3 a.m., go get a trainer to actually train them, hone their skills. They're people who aren't treating basketball as, yo, I've got free time after lunch, let me go hoop. He's saying there's people who've religiously said, I'm not going to leave this court until I give 1,000 shots up today, regardless of what I have to do at home, regardless of their situation. All of these people are in broke situations, they're in tough situations, don't have money to eat, and they're still doing this. And he's like, and you're telling me just because I'm like, I think I can hoop, I'm going to make it to the NBA. So I think that kind of realization of like, be more realistic with yourself. Like, why? I think what you're trying to do to get better is be more realistic with yourself, saying, okay, if I'm trying to get better at cinematography, at least 4 times in this month of my schedule, on the weekends, on Sunday, I'm reading strictly about cinematography, or I'm watching strictly about that. Actually do it. Like, yeah, it's more about doing it. There's so many things. Like I've heard so many things, man. I've heard people, artists, say, yo, I'm trying to blow, and I kid you not, I feel like I make more music than them. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's
like
like
the grind ain't there for them.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, I'm a director, but I'm really keen on this music thing more than you. It just doesn't add up. I don't know, you know. That's just my perspective of it. So I think that's one thing, just trying to be more organized. And if you're actually trying to do something, agree with the steps to doing it. I think don't jump the steps. If you can't draw, learn how to draw before you start trying to paint.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's literally it. A lot of filmmakers as well sometimes save up a lot of money to buy gear, and they've never filmed on a DSLR. Ruins them. It happens time and time again. You've spent your whole 2 years working in Tesco or wherever, and you've actually managed to save up this money. You buy a red camera, you've got 0 clients, you've got 0 understanding of what you're doing, and you find out that these people using, it's very depressing. I've seen people with phone footage better than people's cameras. And that's just because the guy on the phone,
there's the technical aspect.
Yeah, he's literally said, okay, this is why it's gonna look good. It's a killer. I literally did a project recently where it's all on a phone and no one could notice. Like, they literally only afterwards at the end credits you see filmed on a phone. And everyone's like, yo, what camera are you using? That's what made me say, oh my goodness, man, if you just don't know what you're doing, you don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, organization of what you're actually trying to do. It's something I'm also trying to still get better at, but it's something that I think the older you get, or whatever you're trying to actually do, you have to just say, okay, if I'm trying to paint, do this.
Mm.
If you're trying to act, you better act.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Act right.
Yeah. If you're trying to act, go do some lessons, learn some techniques, better your accents. That's something so big with acting. If you're trying to act, learn to do accents. Why does someone sound more authentic than you? Figure it out.
Yeah. So, you know, you speak a lot about, obviously, you know, this journey and taking those steps, and just,
Yeah.
you know, if you were to have a conversation with your future self, what kind of advice do you reckon they'd have for you?
I would hope this is what they would say. Enjoy it. I see a lot of people like this. I see a lot of celebs or important people who say the journey was the best part. And I think that kind of makes sense. Like, imagine if I just made it tonight. I've made it. Done. I don't have to work again. I don't need to. I've actually made it. What else is there for me to do?
Right, yeah.
That means I don't have much of a push anymore. Now I'm just trying to make more money, I guess. I'm trying to now chase Bill Gates or whatever. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not even. Dude, that's not really a goal, man. This is now you're just vibing.
Yeah.
So I understand where they say, yo, the journey is the best part, because you're trying to figure it out. You're trying to do. So I think my future self would say, worry less about trying to impress. And this is one thing that's really helped me out as well as a creative, and I hope someone else listens to this. Stop worrying about people's opinions who you actually don't care about.
Yeah.
And I'll put this into its perspective. If you, let's say you make music, right? And it's not really good, right? The people that actually care about you are most likely just going to be encouraging you, saying, yo, just keep at it and stuff. Like, I'm talking about your moms, your close friends. Or they're going to pick out the good part of it and say, yeah, you need to improve on this and everything. The people that don't know you like that or care about you, I'm talking about Susan from Northampton, who's saying, yo, you're trash in the comments. Do you know how stupid it is to care about someone like that?
Right, yeah.
Opinion. It literally means nothing. You're not going to see them ever in your lifetime. You're not. Do you know what I mean? I think a huge part of society and social media has made people think that that's important. No, care about you. Care about the people close to you. And I think that's something my future self would try to say that, yo, don't care about too much. Just enjoy it, have fun. And I think that's a huge part of a lot of the projects you've seen us doing as well. That we try to get it a bit technical, but it's mostly about having fun.
Yeah.
I think through fun, you learn even quicker as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Than someone who's always trying to get everything perfect.
I think that's maybe like a commentary on human nature. It's much easier to focus on where you've fallen over as opposed to every step you took along the way.
Exactly.
Remaining upright.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
But I was like, yeah, it's one of those things that actually, well, for some people it becomes increasingly difficult. For some people it gets better, you know, with perspective. And you know, where do you think you place yourself on that spectrum there? Do you find that it gets easier the more steps that you take? Is it easier to see failure in perspective of everything else that you've got going on, or are you quite harsh on yourself?
I think I would say I am harsh on myself, but I like the idea of, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that sometimes when you feel like you're being harsh on yourself, just take 2 minutes and just go. I did this the other day actually, because I got a new project coming out soon. I don't know when this video comes out. It's a video called Melanin. If you
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
I reckon Melanin will be out by the time this episode is out.
Okay, cool.
So I'll definitely link it below.
Yeah, make sure you go check that out. I've got Project Melanin, and the other day I was talking to my best friend, again, someone obviously I really care about their opinion, and we were talking about the first project we ever did.
Right.
Went back and saw it, and I said, my gosh, how did I put this out on YouTube? And like, I actually wanted to delete it. That's how bad it was. Then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna leave it there because that's a huge reflection, man. Like I was like, oh, that's not that long ago. That's about 10 years. But really and truly, the growth that has come from that 10 years is insane. So I think part of me, if you go back and look at it and really analyze, you see a lot of growth a lot of the time. And I like always putting scenarios like, oh, okay, if I'm here now, give me 2 more years. Just give me 1 more year of actually trying to improve in this area.
Right, yeah.
I feel like that always makes me feel better saying that, oh, okay, cool. I suck at this right now. But just give me 6 months. Let me see what I can do in 6 months. And then I can evaluate. I think without having a committed time to something, it gets difficult. Because everyone's trying to do one thing. It doesn't work out this week. You've already switched.
Right, yeah.
I don't think that works. Give it some time.
No. Consistency and discipline will obviously get you far. You know?
And bomb.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm actually looking forward. I've got quite a few projects that I know, like, I've got some that I know are really good and some that are just terrible. But I can't wait to put that terrible. I'm actually, at first I was really like, oh man, but everyone knows, like, I'm meant to have a certain level, like, after. But I'm actually looking forward to just putting out that terrible stuff because you need to also understand there's a point where that terrible to you was good.
Yeah, of course.
And a lot of the time, it's only because you've had it for so long that it becomes terrible.
Yeah.
Someone who sees it for the first time might not even think it's bad.
Right.
Because they're now seeing it from their view. And it's something to do with music as well. A lot of the time the musician can yell, oh, my tone isn't right there. Half the time people just listen to the song. They ain't listening to all the technicality.
No, it's like, you spend too much time focusing on something and it's almost like you get too much perspective in that, you forget what you initially appreciated.
Exactly.
And you start to focus on, it's constructive in the sense that, it's like, once you know where you could have gone better, you probably should just kind of leave the lesson there, as opposed to thinking I could have gone better in that project.
Exactly. So I think that's what I'll do.
Cool.
Just focus on bombing. Guys, bomb, please bomb. It's a good feeling when you bomb as well because a lot of the time if you bomb, you generally know that you can't surely be this bad next time.
Yeah.
Unless you're just bad at that point, then keep bombing. Just bomb. I actually think that's it, man. I think that's the trick. Bomb.
Cool.
And I'm hoping, I can't wait to stink up the place. That's the trick. Yeah, people are like, Z made that, but he put out, okay, yeah. But I want to normalize that.
Cool. Well, thank you for your insight.
Thank you.
For your take on tomorrow and what that looks like for you.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
No, man. Honestly, I know I'm gonna have you back on the show again.
Definitely.
But thank you to everyone on the other side of wherever you're watching this for tuning in. And do you have anything else you'd like to sign off with?
Just keep bombing, guys. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
Keep bombing. I feel like there's maybe one more quote or something. Okay. I think we'll just sign out. Keep bombing, man. Just
Message
keep
of the
doing
day:
it.
just keep bombing and
Yeah.
keep bombing until you grow.
Yeah. Oh, last one.
There we go.
I think, and I guess this is normal. Everyone does this.
Mm.
Really try to stop comparing yourself to people.
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
It's very hard, but it stops a lot of progress. If I really looked at some of the people my age who are really doing amazing all the time, it's obviously good to look at them. But if I start saying, why is my stuff not looking like that, and why is his color grading looking like a movie? Why is it just so perfect? I feel like you lose a bit of, energy. It actually drains you as well, and that's where social media is good and bad. Because sometimes you can really look at it and say, okay, cool, but that person's doing it right. Just everyone has their own time. Literally shut your eyes, say this week I'm gonna do that. Do it at your pace, man. So I would say that just stay on your lane, has your lane. Literally don't care about no one else. Just keep moving and keep bombing. Yeah. We'll end it that.
Cool. Thank you. Well, you know what, guys? I'll catch you on next week's episode. And yeah, nothing else to say from me.
Peace.